Hi, welcome to How to Draw Simple. Today we're going to learn how to draw a seafood boil. Let's start off by drawing the pot with a big oval shape. Then, along the inside, a long line that follows the bottom edge like so for the lip. Next, we can add a line that comes out, turns down and in, and curves down to start a handle. Inside that, a similar shape that comes down to a point to finish that off. Repeat that on the other side for the other handle. And finally, draw the bottom of the pot with the line coming down here, that curves all the way to the other side and comes up here. That's looking great already. Now we can draw the seafood. Seafood boils have a lot of different things in them, like shrimp, clams, mussels, and sometimes even crab. Let's start off by drawing a shrimp with a short curve here, followed by a big C shape that comes over and around like so. Then, a smaller C shape inside it, and cap that off with a short line. And now, a little mitten shape on the end for the shrimp tail. To finish off our shrimp, add a few thin lines across the length of the shrimp like so to give it some detail and texture. And now you've got a shrimp. Next to it, we can draw a small potato. I'm going to draw a half potato with an oval shape and a lumpy line that comes down like so. Then, add a short one from the other side of the oval here. To give it more texture, add some dots or marks for some lumpy dimples. And now you've got a potato. Next, let's draw a clam. Start with a really wide and flat C shape for the bottom of the shell. Then, a line curving across like so for the edge of the shell. Above that, we can draw a lumpy blob for the clam meat. And on top, another big C shape that curves up and over like so for the top shell, with another line along the inside like so for the edge of the top shell. And to give it some texture, some really thin, wavy, broken lines all along the outside of the clam shell like so. And now you've got a clam. Next, we can draw a slice of sausage. Start with a curve up from here, a line curving inward down like so, and mirror the first line on this side. Then, another wavy curve from this point, followed by some more dots and marks for the meaty texture where the sausage is cut. And now you've got a sausage. Next, let's draw a mussel. Mussels are like really big clams, but where clams live in the sand or mud, mussels live on rocks and piers. To start off our mussel, draw a long C shape for the bottom shell, just like how we started for our clam. Above that, draw a really long, lumpy blob for the meat. And above that, another long C shape for the top shell, followed by another line along the inside like so for the edge of the shell. Mussel shells are usually darker in color, so we can add some thicker lines along the outside of the shell very roughly until it looks a little bit like this. Making it rougher and not completely black helps to give our mussel shell some detail and texture. Now you can keep copying these shapes all around at different angles and sizes to fill up your pot. Over here, I'm going to draw half a lemon. To learn how to draw a lemon, check out our other video linked in the description below, or our fresh fruit series for more. Next to our lemon, I'll add another sausage, another clam next to that one, a big mussel here, a clam, let's do a potato here, and another clam there. Remember that yours doesn't have to match exactly. You can fill your seafood boil with whatever you like. You can even add a crab claw. To learn how to draw a crab claw, check out our crab video in the description or our Spectacular Sea Creatures series. I'm going to add some more dots and marks along it for some added texture. Let's continue filling our pot with seafood until it's full. When you don't think you have any more room to draw an entire piece, just fill in the rest of the blank spots with sausages or potatoes. And finally, add some dots over everything for some pepper and seasoning. And some really tiny, thin rectangles for some chives or other herbs. And now you've got a seafood boil. What's your favorite part of a seafood boil? Let us know in the comments if we missed anything. And check out these videos for more.